Hey there, good morning. I'm John. Today is Monday, June 5th, 2023. This is my daily vlog. Ever since I was laid off a few months ago, I've been trying to take content creation from a hobby to something more sustainable. And this is me documenting that journey, see how that goes. Let's get started talking about Friday. So you'll likely recall that Friday I was talking on the vlog about I really needed to finish editing the first part of this Activision tier list thing. This is this video that I was working on. It was a suggestion by Akashic Record here on the vlog. And it was something I'd never heard of, and I didn't know if it was something that would be worthwhile, but I took a pretty big gamble on it. I spent about 2.5 days working on, effectively, all the first video, but parts of the second video as well. But I liked the idea, and I looked around at some examples that Akashic had sent me, and I had good feelings about this. And so I launched this, finished the video editing on Friday, and I released it pretty early. I want to say before lunch, or before I left for lunch, about 1 in the afternoon, I dropped this. And in this video, I'm going to share with you, especially toward the end, some more metrics about how I compare and track a video. But I have this basic metric that for me right now is I would like to get at least 200 views in the first hour. That's a good kind of launching point. And lately, many videos have been doing better than that, doing 300 or 400 views in the first hour. And that's a good place to start to continue to get recommended and that kind of thing, and serve as and serve as a productive video, and not just one that kind of flops. So this one just did the bare minimum, and it hit that 200. And I won't stretch out the narrative here. After a very, very slow start, this video took off over the weekend. Not like a record-setting thing, but well and above anything we've done recently. I'm going to show you some of the stats in a bit. I'll share with you. So I'll put a link in the corner to that video if you haven't seen it or would like to. And it's a part 1. A part 2 is coming. So that video did really well. And again, I'm going to talk more about the actual specifics of it at the end of this video. But let's go ahead then and talk. It did really, really well. It did so much for us that subscribers went up over the weekend. And of course, the views went up over the weekend. And there was splashback from that video that other videos got traffic. The video that I threw in the corner at the end, where I'm going to put the sequel, it got a lot of traffic again. So it did well. And a lot of watch time too, because it's about 16 minutes long, and people stayed to the end, where people don't always stay to the end of the reviews and things, but when it's a list of 20 things, people stick around. Subscriber wise, wow, remember I told you last week we were around 40 a day was our average, between 30 and 50-ish or whatever, and around the time that took off, that changed, so we started getting over 100 again the last couple of days. And so as we stand right now, I'm just taking a glance, we're at 27,960 something. So we're about to hit the next milestone. And I feel like we just hit the 700. We just hit 700. Oh, wait a minute. It's up to 8, up to 9. Yeah, we just hit 700. That was just on Friday, I think. So it's been like 250 or more since then. So we're about to hit 28,000. I couldn't believe, I keep looking because I'm like, is that right? The math is right. I remember last week thinking we're not going to make the next 1,000 for another week or two. And over the weekend, we're almost there. I would expect by the end of the day, if stats continue, we're going to hit the next 1,000 mark, 28,000 at the end of today. Isn't that cool? Yes, the answer is cool, in case you're wondering. I'll answer that for you. It's cool. Let me go ahead and talk about today, which is a couple of things. I have a busy week, especially busy in the evenings, which I hate busy evenings because that makes my day feel shorter because I have a cap at the end. That's okay. I'll deal with this because the next week is lighter. But today I have a couple things to do. First, I have an editorial video to do. A bit of news dropped, and so I want to knock out this video that's relatively short, but it sheds some more light on the stuff way back at CES in January that I've yet to hear officially, but it started to leak. So I'm going to share that video and talk about it. Also, I want to do some more editing on part 2 of this video that did so well on Friday and over the weekend. I need to go ahead and get it ready so that I have a choice about when to release it. I'm not going to go ahead and say I'm going to release on Friday. That's what's in my head, but I'm going to kind of watch the stats of the other one. If the other one starts to really kind of fade, I might go ahead and inject the sequel earlier. If the first one continues to grow, I might let it wait till it reaches a peak before I drop the second one, because look, this is literally almost, it should be two copies of the same audience, right? So if they watch the first part, they should be interested in the second part, I think. So I have a high potential of duplicating this success because it's the second part of a video that continues a narrative. So I want to try to get, I don't know if I'll get it done, but I want to work on editing it today and have it ready at least by, later in the week. So I don't have to stress on when do I get that video done, but rather when do I release that video. And then this evening we have our regular weekly call. And this end of the week is podcast recording. So I have to start prepping those podcast shows and do a little writing and write some teases and stuff to prep for that. As I said, it's a busy week, but it's better than the alternative, right? I also, on Friday, knocked out the first of those, the voiceover gig, right? I got the first script and I recorded all the audio, did a couple of on-camera bits. I'm going to redo those a bit, maybe today or tomorrow I'll get those done, but I not only did I get the first one done and I delivered the first one, I got the first paycheck for doing these. And so, there's something really, it's been a while since I have got, labor for cash, like a direct kind of thing, like a job. It's been months since I've seen that. And it definitely was a bit of a relief to go, oh, look, I'm generating actual reliable revenue. Now, not this is a forever gig. I mean, we've only talked about maybe doing this for a couple of months. We'll see how it goes. But even for a couple of months, if I can have a reliable, if I do X, I will receive X, that's a little less living off a shoestring, right? It's a little more like, oh, I will get some income later, next week, have some reliable stuff instead of like, let's see what the winds of YouTube bring me, right? So, because it's tough right now living by that. So speaking of the revenue angle of this, so I'm going to share with you here at the end of this video a lot of the detailed stats about this video and why it did so well. And I saw some comments. There was that one a few months ago that somebody commented, you got to get off the Atari crap, talk about Nintendo. Well, I don't know anything about Nintendo because that wasn't my console. And I saw a post by someone over the weekend that, by the way, when you post, I get an email. So if you delete the post, I get to see the post. So if you think you got rid of it before I saw it, you didn't. But that's okay. I'm not going to call anybody out. But it was a kind of a saying, if you're wondering why John is doing this thing about Atari, even though it was kind of I don't think this is going to do very well, but oh well, that's the best he can do. That's the best he knows. I'm paraphrasing poorly, but it was effectively a bit of I don't think that's going to work out so well for him, but we'll see. And it did incredibly well. So, but how good is what I wanted to show to you. So there's a couple of cool metrics. First, you've seen this screen before, which is the analytics screen for a single video. And you can see in this one how it started off really low down at the beginning, and it's tracked about 3 days now. And after the first day, it kind of grew past that shaded area is typical, right? And so it grew out of the shaded area and into the atypical range and just kept kind of going up. Little troughs and valleys where it flattened and then started spiking again. But you can see that just in the time since it's been released, which is not even 3 days yet, it's like 2.5 days, it's almost 9,000 views, over 90 subscribers generated by this video alone, and earned a little over $35. So just to show you a video that did great, might not pay for lunch, right? So it really is, it's a tough nut to crack. The other thing I want to show you that I think is, I really like this stat, which is every time you release a video, YouTube shows you this chart, not a chart, but like the stack of your 10 most recent similar videos. So if you do a short, it's the 10 most recent shorts. If you do a live stream, the 10 most recent live streams. Well, this is a long form video. So they're showing me the 10 most recent long form videos. And this one is currently number 1. It started out as number 9. It started out performing so poorly. Now, the way this chart works is it takes those last 10 videos and it pretends they all launched at the same time. So even though one video might be 3 weeks old or 2 weeks old, it's showing you how each of them had performed after X amount of time. So the current video. So when it was 1 hour in, it showed me the last 10 videos and where they were at 1 hour. When it was a day in, it showed me this video plus the other 9, how they were doing at 1 day. And so this one shows like a 2.5 day mark. And it's not only doing better, it's not only top of the pack, it's like not quite double, it's like 170% of the number 2 video. So it's not just it did pretty good, it did really well, and it's the kind of thing, so I'll start deconstructing what it was about this one and how it did well and what it could be telling me to try to use for others. And I don't think it's necessarily just because it was Atari and it was a list and all those were factors. But I'm going to definitely, because I have a part 2, I already have a follow-up to this. And you have to follow up. And so I'm already thinking about other tier lists like this that I could do. And look, this is not all I'm going to do. Clearly, today I'm doing an editorial piece. But when something performs well, you are a fool to not go back and try to milk that cow again. Because it just proved that it would work. Do you not want to succeed? You follow the trends until you find the path that gets you where you want to be. And that's what I keep doing. The last thing I want to mention on today's video is because this was a suggestion by Akashic Record. Thanks again for your suggestion. It's working out really well. I know a lot of people suggest a lot of things, and I think most people tend to be of the opinion that if I don't take them up on their suggestion and do it, then I'm ignoring it, and that's never the case. I have close friends that are like that. They say, "Why did we do this?" And I go, "No, I'm not interested in that." And they take it personally, like, "You hate my ideas." No, I didn't like that one. It wasn't good for me. So I know often people will suggest stuff, and all I have to go on is I have this little barometer that here's a suggestion, and if it doesn't spark with me, like I'm not interested in it, then the audience that I'm cultivating, I have already tuned them to be interested. I've cultivated people that are interested in the stuff I'm interested in. So if someone suggests something and it doesn't spark any interest in me, first, I'm not going to be enthusiastic about it. I could do it, but I probably won't be enthusiastic. But secondly, it probably won't resonate with the people who are following the things that I do, because the things I do are the things that I like. And if I do something I don't like, not great odds that people that are watching me are going to watch me do something that I don't like, because we're kind of somewhat cultivating, I keep using that word, but it's kind of how it is. You're really just honing that audience to be exactly your audience of people that like the things you like and want it. So I say all that to say that if you've made suggestions that I have not leapt on like I did this one, that is not to say that I don't like your ideas, but if I read an idea and it doesn't resonate, then I'd be like, that's probably not for me. I remember it and I internalize it, and if something comes along where later it does spark, it's possible. But in this case, in Akashic Records case, it totally paid off. And I think that probably, it's going to be 2 videos for sure. It's liable to be at least a third, to see if we can return to that well in a couple of weeks and see if we can do that same thing again, or if it was a one-off. That's the nature of trying to grind this YouTube game and find out where's the niche, where's your groove. And I feel like we found the groove. It's just that the groove isn't wide enough or tall enough, or whatever grooves do deep enough. I don't know, however you quantify grooves, it's not enough of a groove. Groovy, right? That's a stupid joke. I'm sorry. If I'm done. Let's end the vlog at that. Thank you for stopping in to check out today's vlog if you did. If you're here every day, I love you for that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Do something good for yourself if you can today. Have a great Monday, and I'll talk to you again next year day. Bye-bye.